Guess what? Gamersledge is live now.
Except it's not. We're sitting on a black screen. Oh, that's fantastic. Hold on.
The death of XSplit.
It's not finding my opening video. It's saying it's not there. Except that it is.
Derp.
Now, the hard drive might be asleep. That is a thing I fully agree might have happened. But I supposedly copied all these over to local drive so that this would never happen again. What is this thing? Gamersledge podcast that we've been doing since 2006? Is that it? Is that the one?
Sounds about right.
Okay, there we go. All right.
Hey, I just... Do you remember what the first game I got for PS3 was?
For PS3?
Yeah. Was it Resistance?
It had to be. Because I believe you got the bundle with it, didn't you?
No, it was a... I got a TV PlayStation bundle, but the system didn't have a game in it.
We'll
actually,
return to that
later.
after the opening of the show. Coming up right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. Come on in, sit down, relax, have yourself a nice mason jar full of lemonade. Our show brought to you today by Takis. Takis by Barcel. Have just one, and you'll be en fuego. Not really brought to you by Takis. Just. Welcome to Gamersledge Podcast.
But you know,
It's a
almost
look at
every
what it
single
means to
podcast
be-
is doing that now. They're doing like the live commercials, the blue aprons and the stuff, So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I actually, I just found one of the people that's staying with me started eating these, and it's not Turo. And I'm like, these are delicious, and now I want an entire bag of them myself.
What are they?
So, think of the Flaming Hot Cheetos, but in what's the pasta that's shaped like tubes? It's
Oh, rigatoni? Is that...
No, it's not rigatoni. Rigatonis are the spirals. It's
Okay.
oven baked, not masticholi. Oven baked. Well, anyways, it's the tubes, but it's like the on fire ones, except that it's hot chili lime taste,
Okay.
and they're really, really, really good.
Alrighty then. You're breaking your own rules about not eating on the podcast. This must be good.
Should have done that in rehearsal. Anyways. So yeah, welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. It's a look at the video gaming industry, a look at what it means to be a hardcore gamer, and a confirmation amongst friends.
Confirmation?
Matt,
Wow.
do you
Yeah.
confirm me as a gamer?
I confirm you as a gamer, yes. Pen names, by the way.
I confirm you. You.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I have to look at the right camera. You. I confirm you.
Too many cameras when you're in your house when you don't know which one to look at.
I was actually just thinking my next step is to actually get an actual switcher for cameras, but not yet.
Okay, continue with your intro because I completely derailed you.
Yeah. No. Welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. It is a fireside chat edition. It's just Matt and I, just the two of us.
We can do it if we try. Oh, wait a minute, that was
Well,
bad.
tonight's the night. All right. So, Matt, what are you drinking?
I have a bottle of Strongbow hard cider, Gold Apple, and a cup of water and a mug of coffee.
You know, I have tried many of the ciders that Turo has put in front of me. Still not a fan of those either.
Really? How? I mean, do you like apple cider? I mean, do you just not like apple cider to start with?
No, I love apple cider. Absolutely love it. This does not, like, the alcohol somehow kills it for me.
Sparkly apple cider.
No, if it tasted like that, I would probably like it. There's something in it, and I can't tell you what, that makes it unpalatable for me. It's not as bad as
there's
beer.
There's a lot of bad ciders out there. There's a lot of them that put extra sugar in it, and those I try to steer away from as much as possible. I mean, Strongbow does a little bit, but not as bad. But I mean, and if anything that says apple ale on it, just stay away from that stuff. Is gross.
Well, I tend
would
to stay away from
assume
all of it, anyways.
Well, yeah.
So Matt, tell me about your week. What have you been up to?
Oh, what have I been up to? Well, a couple of weeks actually. I had to sit down and write it all down because it's been a couple of weeks since we talked.
You tree murderer!
Yeah, well, it's the same tree. See, I've got one there and one there, and the new one's down here. So I'm only killing little bits of a tree at a time. So Final Fantasy 14, I finally pushed ahead some more.
Wait. First, for two things.
Did I say 14?
You did say 14. And number two,
14,
if you'd like to interact with us, you can do so a myriad of ways. Simply hit us up in the Twitch chat over to the right, and we'll see your comment. It actually appear on screen, all magical like. Or if you don't want to do that because you hate Twitch, you can leave a message on or a comment on the Facebook live stream, and we will see that as well. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment there. Or if you say, I don't like any of those and I do not want to interact with you on any of those, just give me a dedicated way to talk to you. I can do that for you. It's bit.ly/GLDiscord. Discord spelled DISCORD. Please continue, Matt.
Alrighty then. And if you prefer asynchronous communication, there's always the email address too. But
I will not get notification of that one while we're on the air.
That one, no. So, Final Fantasy 15. Apologies, I did push forward in the story a bit more. I'm in Chapter 8 at the moment, trying to clean up. I went in with the intent of pushing more through the story, and spent 10 or 11 hours side questing instead. Because the next part is a push off point where something's going to change. They pretty much point blank told me that something's going to change. So I'm trying to get as much done as I can before I kick off that event. I'm still loving the game. I think it's great. Does it have flaws? Yeah, it has flaws, but I think the game easily overcomes them. I haven't gotten to the point where it supposedly all falls apart yet, so we'll see what happens as that
Well,
goes.
that's like Chapter 13, so you've got some time.
I've got some time, but Chapter 4 to 8 went really fast.
Did it?
So, yeah, 4 to 8 went really fast. So we'll have to see. I'm like level 56 or 57 now. So
before you continue,
yep.
I would do the if I could. Hi Atticus, good to see you. And hi Prunkle, songs aren't turned on because of copyright issues. Please continue.
Rock Band 4. We fell back a rank last week, back down to gold. This
My
week
fault.
You did not participate. You also did not participate in our rise back to platinum. So,
Yeah. Well, I also did not participate in many games, which I'll get to.
yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, so we're back up to platinum. We are Groot. Got a new member in this last week. Played some drums and guitar for us. I don't remember his name. I could look it up on the app, but I'm not going to. So hopefully this will work out better than the last couple that just didn't participate and I had to kick. But that's going well. They just announced the new Spotlight songs, and your favoriteest song from our online game session that we did a while is one of the Spotlight songs.
Don't keep me in suspense.
I was hoping you'd remember because I don't remember the name of it. It's the Dream Theater song, the really long titled one, the like 12-minute long song.
The really hard one?
Yeah, that one.
Fire
yeah.
in the Flames.
Oh, okay. Well, nope, it's not that one then.
Oh.
That's not the right title. I don't think. Dang it. I'll figure it out later. Anyway, it's one of those really, really, really long songs that I never play because it's really, really, really long. So they just announced that. I don't know. The theme is some YouTube dudes or Twitch dudes most requested songs for playing on his Twitch stream. So that's the theme. So we'll find out what the rest of the songs are when that drops tomorrow. Drawful 2 doing the Friday thing. Overwatch when the Drawful 2 thing fell apart on Friday. Stardew Valley in place of this show last week, actually. I played some Stardew Valley and streamed it out. That is not a game to play when you're tired. It is way too slow. And winter is the slowest season because there's just way less things to do in winter. So, yeah. Then of course I've tried out the plus games for this month: Star Wall, Not Torkoal, Ninja Senki, and Little Big Planet 3, but I did not play any. I have played it before, and Little Big Planet's just not my thing. So did pop that open though. I tried a new free-to-play game that was on the system called Adventure Pop. It's basically a variation on Bust-A-Move. It's the, fire up colored ball at the other colored balls and make them fall down. It's okay. I think I've about hit the paywall. I don't think I'm quite there yet, but I think I'm getting pretty close. So I'll probably discontinue that because I hate paywalls. Let's see what else we got on the list here. We have Star Trek Online. New content for that just dropped. You streamed that last night. I have not played since the new content dropped. Any significant UI or changes or anything like that, or is it?
So the I should preface this in that since you're just starting out, you may wish to actually start over. Because what they do is they make it so that you can start in the original series. And your video quality is horrific right now. I don't know why. Yeah, welcome to Google Hangouts. I remember why we stopped using Google Hangouts. But yeah, you start in Kirk, Spock, and McCoy's era. And they've actually done a really good job with that tutorial of making it look and feel like you are playing through the 60s TV show. It's pretty good. I don't know how they're going to get you to the future, but I know at some point that does happen.
So do they give you the choice whether your tutorial takes place in the original timeline or the new timeline?
No, it's actually more than that. It's where your character temporally exists. Because if you choose the 23rd century, which is the old series, you only get to see and interact with people in the 23rd century until a point later in the game. If you want to experience the time in the real and normal timeline from the beginning of the J.J. Abrams universe forward, which is the destruction of Romulus and Remus and then all the resulting Klingon war, and then the Undine and the Borg attacking and all that stuff. That's the future as opposed to the future past. And you can take one of those. You can choose either one. Right now we're playing in the future one, but you can now start a character in the future past, is the short answer there.
Okay.
And I really like it. It's pretty good. I'm digging it. but I haven't gotten that far into it because I'm kind of waiting to do it with other people. I don't know if there's a way to take the future character and put him into the future past. I don't think so, is the short answer.
Okay.
So you are extremely limited on the number of races that you can play in the 23rd century. I think it's human, Andorian, Talaxian, Talaxian, and there's a fourth one, but I'm not remembering what it is. But only the humanoid-looking ones. Let's put it that way. And all the Klingons look human. It's pretty hilarious. So,
speaking of which, we'll at some point have to talk about that leaked picture of what the Klingons supposedly look like in Discovery.
I saw the article. I did not look at the picture because I just started to facepalm a little bit because they've already taken care of this. Why are they reopening a can of worms again?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping they just, whoever took that picture was just wrong about what species that was. So that sounds interesting. So we'll have to see again how because I've got open character slots, so I can gen up an original series character too. So that pretty much does it for the games. Not doing much on my phone right now. That's really kind of a dead thing. But then over on TV, I think I'm caught up on Beyond, Shadowhunters, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The Expanse Season 2, and Colony Season 2. I think that's all I'm caught up on at the moment.
So all I need to know is The Expanse as good this season as Season 1 was?
Okay. I would say not quite. But I mean, we're talking
that Season 1 is going to be pretty hard to live up to.
It is. Season 1 is an A+. Right now, I'd say Season 2 is teetering between an A- B+.
Okay. Man, that's not what bad. I wanted to hear, Matt.
Your mileage may vary. The issue I'm having is the number of places I have to keep track of in my head is like exponentially grown. And doing it week to week rather than binging it like you did for Season 1.
Yeah.
Having a little bit of trouble remembering exactly where it is they're referring to when they just throw out something like Phoebus Station.
I hear that happens as you get older and you're a belter.
Yeah, exactly. But character-wise, it's still the visuals are great, the action is great, the characters are great. They do introduce a new set of characters.
No, don't tell me anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. Because I right now I'm in that bliss that was like one of the greatest pilot seasons I've ever seen of anything, and I just kind of want to live there till I can binge the second season.
That was the greatest sci-fi season, possibly season, but definitely Season 1 that I can think of.
But I swear on all that is good and holy, I have never seen one actor channel another so thoroughly, because that is Christopher Lambert on screen, 100%.
What are you talking about?
Thomas Jane.
Miller? Yeah, Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I just want him to look at the camera and have like lightning flash in his eyes for just a split second, because it's totally Raiden. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. He I forget who he is. Yeah, that's him. Okay, never mind. But yeah, otherwise, just kind of just lots of stuff going on. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I've been playing Clash Royale, Mage Legion, and Star Trek Online. I have not been able to play anything. Matt was ever so nice. Took over the streams this last week because had a family member in the hospital. I forgot to put
Tomb Raider on this. That's what I did one night. I did Tomb Raider too. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. So we had a bit of a medical crisis, so I had to be off the stream. So thank you, Matt, for covering that very much. And but we're back to our normal regular schedule, except all this week, probably all this week will be Star Trek Online. So We'll change it next week back to the way we had it. But for right now, I have gotten the bug again, and talking with Justin last night in Star Trek, I came to a realization that I am unlike many other people in MMOs, because Daniel is a really good example of this. Daniel gets sick of grind easily and will succumb to what I call altitis, where he starts a new character and then levels that one up until it gets grindy again, and then he'll go start a new character and do that. I still have never played the Klingons or the Romulans in this game. I own ships for them, and I still have never played them. And now I have technically a fourth set of content to go through, which is the original series stuff. And I have already, on this character on the PS4, invested so much time and money into that character that I feel like I am betraying myself to go play another character. And the grindy stuff only makes me want to get stronger, if that makes sense. In that, I know the more I grind, the more marks I'm going to have, the faster I'm going to be able to get the equipment I want for the ships, and then go from there. And there is something new on the console that was not on the PC that I am absolutely loving, and that is that once you set a ship's load up of gear, it remembers it. So if I have everything on my All Good Things Enterprise set up one way, and then I go to my Chrono Dreadnought and I set it up a different way, but some of the parts are overlapped, as I activate which ship is the active ship, it will take all those parts and reassign them to the new active ship. So that's pretty slick. That's that ship loadouts. It's been in the it's been on the PC for quite a while, but I have not played on the PC for a while. Console's been pretty bad. But yeah, that game right now is I do not care about anything else. I don't care that I don't care about shaving. I don't care about that that For Honor is out. So let's talk about For Honor. I played For Honor. That's the other one. Do not want is my summary of For Honor. It seems like it would be right up my alley, except it's completely not. I don't know how. The graphics look fine. The gameplay is okay, but I think they made a horrible mistake in the fighting stances for the people. Because basically the way the gameplay works is Matt, let's say that you're an opposing character, right? And I've got my sword here, and you've got your sword here. Well, you can shift it like this, which means you're going to attack on the left side. You can shift it like that, which means you're going to attack on the right side. Or you can go overhead, which means you're going to do overhead. So, in most games, like when you looked at Bushido Blade, which is an old game, very old game, but when you looked at them changing stances like that, the movements were super over-exaggerated to the point that you knew within a couple frames of animation which way they were going to go. Here, it's all very drawn in. I mean, I was playing the samurais because I figured the most exaggerated ones would be the samurais, because you're talking like wide strokes, you're talking, sweeps, etc. For me, there wasn't enough variance and time to block effectively, and I'm sure I could have. I mean, I went through the combat tutorials. I did all the stuff in the tutorials, so it's not like I didn't know how to play the game. But there's a lot of buttons to remember, and to be honest, I did not find the gameplay that much fun. I am not saying that you guys won't. I'm just saying, for whatever reason, for me, it did not click. I know it's having a ton of problems with matchmaking right now, which is one of the news stories that I had pulled. But for me personally, it just didn't click. Kind of like Neo. Neo has been out for a week now. All my friends are playing it online. When I look down the list, it's Neo, Neo, Neo. And one of them popped in last night. He's like, why are you not playing Neo? You love Dark Souls. I said, I love Japan. I love Dark Souls. You would think I would love Japanese Dark Souls. But it turns out that I don't, for whatever reason, currently have the patience to sit down and learn a new combat system the way that I did Demon Souls. I mean, Demon Souls, I ran up those frickin' stairs for 2.5 hours, dying over and over again until something in my brain clicked and I just got the Dark Souls combat system. I started out in Neo. I had the same problem as running up those stairs in the second demo. I went through it for 30 minutes and just kept dying, and I was like, nope, done. Moving on to other things. I'll come back to it later, and I never have. And I don't know that I will for a while. At some point, maybe. But it's not like we are in a dearth of games that are coming out. There's still a ton of games coming out, and to be quite honest, I'm totally getting my kicks from Spreadsheet Simulator by sending all my duty officers off to go do their things, by sending all my ships out to go do their things. I never see any of it happening, but it's happening. And then look, 45 minutes later, duty officer comes back. Here's a pile of XP and gold for you, Captain. I'm like, right on, duty officer. That's fun for me for some reason. I don't know why, but it is.
See, now I've got a completely different issue, and I have found that I don't enjoy post game in anything. I just don't. Loot grind, gear grind, not my thing. I will play the story content. I will enjoy story content. Once I'm done with the story content, there's nothing left for me to do. That's pointless to me. I've gotten to the end of the game, and until you drop more story content, I'm done. So
yeah,
I
agree with that wholeheartedly. I have that same problem as well. That's part of the reason why I never did the story missions in Fallout 4. Because as soon as I started doing the story missions, I was going to be done with the game. Eventually.
Right.
Yeah.
For Honor, I didn't even download the beta because it wasn't really a beta. It was really just a demo. I didn't download it because it just didn't look like my kind of thing. It just did not appeal to me, so I didn't even bother trying it. What I've heard from most people who have tried it was mostly positive. Hard but fair was the common denominator, kind of, that it really came down to. I don't know how many people ultimately ended up getting it. I haven't seen it on my on my friends list much yet, but it's only been a couple of days.
I am pulling up the... well, never mind. I pulled up the GameSpot review roundup for it, and none of them have scores because it's still in progress because of all the
online stuff.
All the online stuff, yeah. GameSpot says it looks like it's going to be a well-made multiplayer fighting game. IGN says it's For Honor's combat system the most tactically complete and flexible version of melee combat I've ever experienced. Destructoid says there's no context or plot, but it turns out I really don't need that. And then Trusted Reviews says it's a real surprise and they've got an online focused hit on their hands, except that the whole online process not working.
Of course it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, I really liked the Neo demo betas. I really liked the Neo betas.
No, not Neo. I'm talking about For Honor.
I don't know. I was just hitting your other one that you were talking about. Is like, I died at that first guy in Neo, the beach beta, which was first, second one. I don't know.
Yeah, that was the second one. That's the same one I died at over and over again.
I died at that guy I don't know how many times. Not for 2 hours, but finally I've got past him, and then it came to the section with the two guys. Well, then you got to figure out how to kite one guy out so you can take him out and then deal with the other guy. And I got what people say about Dark Souls that I never really got, is each time you die you learn something, then you apply it to your next go through. I got that and it worked, but I got to the point where it's like, this is a lot of work. And for this, it's not that it's unenjoyable or unsatisfying. I just don't have this much time to apply to a game like this. That's not statistically significantly more fun than something like Final Fantasy 15 that I'm having fun with. So yeah, that's a moniker.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I'm getting to the point where short, good games are more desirable to me. Because Final Fantasy 15, it's the same thing as Final Fantasy 11 when I had to restart over again.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it and I go, I don't have that much time. It's going to be this huge upward slog. Do I want to do it again? I'm not saying I don't want to for Final Fantasy 15. I'm just saying I do go into those games knowing that it's going to be a time commitment, and I'm like, well, great. If I'm playing it on the stream every day for 3 hours and it's a 70-hour game, how many days is that, Matt?
A lot.
Yeah. And so it's like, and I can't do that just for the stream, so when am I going to play it? And it's like, So, yeah,
and now you found my issue. You found my main issue with streaming.
Yeah, no, I know. But, that's okay. We're still figuring out the formula, the secret sauce here. We'll figure it out one day.
Yeah. I know that. Well, the other thing for me is I've made this kind of crazy decision that I'm not buying any new games this year. So, in a way that's frustrating because I look at Beyond Horizon Zero Dawn. There we go.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
I'll get it eventually. And I mean, that game is just screaming to me, like, buy me. I look at Resident Evil 7 and that game is screaming, buy me, because, I've been there since day one on Resident Evil. And I just, that part's frustrating, but at the same time, I don't have to worry about jackhammering through Final Fantasy 15 so that I can get to a point where I feel like I'm done enough with it that I can move on to the next thing. Live up to that resolution or that idea, I don't know, but it's a weird place to be at right now.
Well, I'm still planning on Horizon Zero Dawn and South Park.
Which got delayed again.
What?
Which got delayed again.
Yeah, which got delayed again, which I'm actually quite all right with. I'm just not... I can't recall if there's anything else that's like burning urgency that's coming up in this first quarter or so. I don't think so.
I think that was... It was Beyond, Horizon Zero Dawn and Resident Evil 7 were the two that were really...
See, and I want Resident Evil 7. I really do.
You've got the PSVR to do it right, too.
Yep. I'm looking at the quick video game release calendar.
And you haven't played Uncharted 4 yet, have you? Speaking of
nope,
quick and fun.
I own it. Still haven't played it.
Quick and fun. Tomb Raider, the Anniversary Edition. Quick and fun.
Yep. I have Tomb Raider as well. I do recall killing Lara Croft in... I don't know how else to say it. Torture porn kind of ways. I mean, it was like, holy cow, they have really rendered every possible way to kill this poor chick. You want to see Lara Croft impaled?
Or are you still talking about the first one?
The first one.
Okay.
I was
yeah, they did.
If you want to see her impaled through the neck, you can. If you want to see her fall and break all her bones on rocks, you can. If you want to see her flattened like Wile E. Coyote in a Roadrunner cartoon, you can. It's like, wow.
It's pretty brutal.
It's quite brutal. But then again, I can't say anything about that because I enjoy Sniper Elite. And Sniper Elite 4 came out this week. And it is a super thinly veiled story, paint by the numbers Nazi story to make you feel good about killing the Nazis that you do. But all it truly is is a game where for some reason they put one man who is a sniper against dozens of platoons by himself, and then you shoot them in every anatomically painful way possible with Mortal Kombat X-ray vision.
Yeah.
I mean, the game's ridiculous.
Mitchell
I
was
guess
watching
that's part of the reason I like it.
Yeah.
But it is completely ridiculous.
Oh, really?
Every time I shatter some guy's teeth, I just like want to hold my own jaw for a while.
Apparently, groin shots are a particular favorite in this one.
Oh,
from what I hear.
Let me tell you that it renders the fleshy bits well, and then they explode like grapes as the bullet goes through them. It's rather disturbing.
Oh.
I just want to know if that's somebody's job title. Testicle renderer. These are the things that keep me up at night.
So what did you do on Sniper Elite?
I rendered all the testicles, gave them that nice grape skin coating bursting action. No, thank you.
Was the guy from Rare who left to be part of that new studio that all the people that left Rare built? This is a story about this one guy. I can't remember the name, and I can't remember the name of the studio the one
guy
that's
from
doing
Daybreak?
ukulele.
The guy from
No.
Daybreak that went to go, who was on EverQuest, the CEO of Daybreak, and then went to go do.
The guy who was he's the lead art designer on Ukulele, but he used to be a Rare.
Oh no,
guy.
this is a different thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But the story goes that he was for one game that those guys made when Connect first came out. Rare was like Rare, or was it Connect Sports or something? And he's like, "So what are you doing for this? For this? I'm making T-shirts." And that's when he realized he needed to leave Rare, because all he was doing for the company with such a storied history as Rare was making T-shirts for in-game content.
That is, yes, you
And then
know you have hit the
proceeded-
bottom of the barrel when you are doing in-game DLC T-shirts. So yes.
So did you find that release schedule? Was there anything else coming out Q1? I mean, it was a very packed Q1.
It
all things
was.
considered.
I just found a list for January. I'm looking for February right now. Video game release dates 2017. No. 2017. Let's see now. January. Do we have anything left? No. February. Okay. So I'm looking here. Neo, For Honor, Sniper Elite, Halo Wars 2 comes out the 21st, which I've been seeing a lot of ads spinning up for that as well. Which, if you're not familiar, that's their RTS version of Halo. Horizon Zero Dawn on the 28th.
Then the Switch.
Then the Switch comes the 3rd, which also means Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will be out. Finally. Ghost Recon Wildlands will be on March 7th. Nier Automata will be on March 7th, which that is one that I actually do really want. Oh, and of course, you're lying, Matt. There's a game you're going to buy this year. There's no way you're not buying this. Mass Effect Andromeda drops on the 21st, the day after my birthday.
You know, I managed to block that one from my mind, which is amazing considering Ian gushes over it like every day.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to avoid that one. You might be able to avoid the rest. I think you're probably safe through the rest of March. But then in April, all hell breaks loose.
What we are in such a overwhelming time of games. This is ridiculous, and yet we have an entire segment of the gaming population that would rather just sit there and watch some YouTube guy get money for them sitting there watching him. I do not understand this. I do not understand it at all. My brain refuses this input.
See, in April, Persona 5 drops.
Oh man.
Uh-oh. The Stardew Valley Collector's Edition, April 11th.
That's okay. I'm good.
Ukulele, April 11th.
I'd never played Banjo-Kazooie, so I don't have the burning need for that one like some people do.
Oh, snap. Micro Machines World Series.
Could be the next Rocket League.
Puyo Puyo Tetris.
I played enough versions of Tetris.
Yeah, you're all right there. Lego City Undercover. I'm kind of just going down.
That again.
Prey, which is one that I'm actually really interested in, comes out May 5th. Injustice 2, which we'll talk about a little bit later, comes out May 16th. Tekken 7, dude. June 2nd.
I forgot about that one.
I'm sorry. Yes, there is another game you're going to buy this year. It comes out July 11th. It's called Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age.
You know, that one I might actually be able to resist the urge, even though I never got to finish it because I lost my save. Simply because it is a massive game and it's going to be a time sink. And that might be the only thing that saves me there. That and the price point. If it's more than $40, I'm not buying.
I don't think it will be. Elite Dangerous is coming to PS4. That's no good.
Interested, but I can resist.
Yeah, I can probably resist that. South Park is now Q3 2017, so we don't have a definitive date on it yet. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is late 2017. I'm sorry. There is 1000% another game that you are going to pick up, and you already know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, it's Ace in a combat and a number. And
yep, Ace Combat 7 will be coming out this year.
Of all of those, that's probably the weakest chink in my armor.
Yeah, I get it. That's, you know why? It's because they've gone so long without giving you a good one that you've gotten used to not having one.
Yeah.
Crackdown 3, which I'll believe when I see at this point. Oh, Detroit Become Human? That is a definite purchase for me.
Yeah. When's that? Are we in Q4 yet?
It's just this year.
Okay.
There's no official
that could be
drop
next
date.
year. Then that could be January of next year.
It could very well be next year. It's not like they're hurting for games.
Apparently is a month that good games come out now.
Yeah. Gwent, the Witcher card game.
That's the only
me.
game you'll need for the next 6 years.
Yeah, that's me. I got it. Parappa the Rapper Remastered. Parappa the Rapper Remastered. Loca Roca Remastered. Patapon Remastered. You're done.
I only need Patapon. I can deal without the other two.
Ni no Kuni 2.
Ooh, that one.
You're welcome. Windjammers.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's the one that's gonna break me. Although that is my current
here's
theme,
another
my
one you're gonna buy.
PlayStation 4.
Here's another one, man. Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Uncharted 4 standalone DLC.
Oh, that was 2018. Seriously?
Yep, that's this year. looking to see if there's any... Oh, yep. Here's another one. I'm just destroying your New Year's resolution left and right here. Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series.
Okay,
Done.
that one. That's even
Done.
more than Ace Combat 7. That's. Although I still haven't bought season 3 of The Walking Dead.
I did already. I haven't gotten to it, but
You still
I
haven't
gotta
beaten
finish Batman. Oh, I need to finish Batman without it crashing on me.
Yeah. Oh, they haven't patched that yet. Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Oh, and I what was it? Yesterday, when Agents of Yesterday dropped, yesterday, when that dropped, they actually were supposed to launch it at 9 a.m. and I happened to be home yesterday, and it got delayed until 2:30 in the afternoon, and I had actually set aside all that time to play, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I'm like, I wonder if they finally ever patched Divinity Original Sin, because I was to like almost the end of it, and John and I encountered this game-ending bug where we could not continue, and sure enough, they did. So we need to finally finish that co-op series for the stream now that they have finally patched that out.
18 months later.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's hilarious. But hey, we will have a resolution.
Okay, you can stop now. I get it. I'm going to break at some point. I get
Pyre.
it. What?
Pyre. That's the game by the folks who made
Transistor and
Transistor,
Best.
yes.
Supergiant Games.
Yep, Supergiant Games.
That one's good, but that's not a one I have to have day 0.
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh, and it's going to have a campaign.
Yeah,
So
and it has the word Star Wars in it, so you must buy it. You are perpetually obligated.
Yep, yeah. Sorry,
Oh,
you're right.
Oh. Red Dead Redemption 2.
I haven't finished Red Dead Redemption 1 yet. I still have a save file like halfway through the game on my PS3.
Oh, also coming this year, The Last of Us Part 2.
Nah, I do not believe that.
I don't believe that either. I don't even know what's
all.
on this list.
That's ridiculous. That's not even a thing.
Death Stranding's on here too. I'm like, that's not
going to happen.
That's not going to happen this year. I'm looking to see if there is any other. Oh, yes, there is one more. I wondered about this game. It's been quiet for a while, but Vampire.
Oh.
Yeah, which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, we haven't heard anything about that in forever.
Yeah. So I do expect that to actually launch this year, unless it's having some serious problems.
Yeah. Launching
There
it off the
is
pot.
still the possibility that there could be a Kingdom Hearts 3 this year. I doubt it, but it is a possibility.
It's possible. Yeah, that would be a Christmas present if it did hit.
So my point is that this actually answers a couple or one of the questions that or topics that we had to talk about tonight, the state of the consoles, and the state is very good.
It's ridiculous. I swear we should just declare the death of consoles more often, because apparently it just inspires them to defy all logic and just keep going.
Because this is probably the last 3 years, I think, have been such a golden age in terms of quality of content coming out. And I only was talking about the AAA titles there. There's a ton of indie games that are coming out in the same space that are going to be phenomenal. So I'm
due for
at
another Rocket
capacity
League
now. I can't imagine, and you know that I am the worst offender of that. I try to play a little bit of everything so that I can speak intelligently on it. I can't do it. I can't keep up with it. It's too much. We need more editors is what we need. But I digress.
And more Justins.
But yeah, I think the consoles are doing well. The big question mark for me is still the Switch. It does not. One of these things is not like the others in that it does not have a lineup of software that matches the rest of what's on that list. Now let's go through it because I don't want to say it's. I'm not trying to say it has nothing. That is not what I am saying.
No.
But
the lineup is different.
So here's what we've got. I see about 35 titles for the Switch.
So let's pretend half of those actually launched this year.
Right, exactly. So here's what we know for sure is coming. I Am Setsuna, which is a multi-console. Just Dance, which is a multi-console. Yeah. Super Bomberman R, which is an exclusive. So that's 1. Legend of Zelda, that's 2. 1-2 Switch, that's 3. World of Goo, which is multi-console, so I'm not going to count it. Human Resource Machine, that sounds like a fun game right there. What's the most HR titled game we can come up with? Human Resource Machine. Great job, Johnson. Sorry.
It sounds like a free VR title on Vive.
Yeah, something like that. It's so that I don't know what that is. I'm sure we'll count it as an exclusive. That's 4. Little Inferno. Sure, 5. That's all launch day. My next title that is confirmed Has Been Heroes and Snipper Clips, which both are going to be system sellers. Jackbox Party Pack 3 in April.
Which, considering their befuddling as all heck online presence, is an interesting choice.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. Siberia 3, again, let's make the cheeriest kid-friendly games. Siberia 3? Yeah, which is, by the way, a multi-console release. So
I'm like 6 years
I'm not
old.
counting that.
I'm older than that.
Puyo Puyo Tetris, which is, again, multi-console. And at a price premium for the Switch, if you want the physical copy.
That's an interesting discussion topic. It's a totally backwards approach, but it'd be interesting if it works.
It will be interesting because they're actually charging people more to have the physical disc. It's crazy.
Instead of less for the online.
Yeah, which boggles my freaking mind, but hello, Nintendo.
If it works, if anybody's going to make it work, it'd be Nintendo. Because it's just screwy enough to work.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I will call that an exclusive, so that's 6. Lego City Undercover, which is multi-platform, so that doesn't count. Sonic Mania, which is a multi-platform, so that doesn't count. ARMS, we're into spring 2017, by the way, now. ARMS is a console exclusive, so that's 7. The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth.
Another family-friendly game.
Yeah. Disgaea 5 Complete, multi-console. Rhyme, multi-console. Splatoon 2, so that takes us to 8. That's summer of 2017. NBA 2K18, multi-console. Project Sonic, multi-console. Super Mario Odyssey 9, that's holiday 2017 now. Fire Emblem Warriors 10, fall of 2017. And
Mario slipped all the way to holiday?
No, it's never not been holiday. It was holiday when they announced it.
Was it? I thought that was summer. I thought when the Switch announcement, wasn't it summer?
No.
Okay. Had that wrong in my head.
Late 2017 now is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So that takes them to 11.
Of which about half are actually titles anyone actually recognizes.
Right. FIFA, which is going to be multi-console. Ultra Street Fighter 2, The Final Challengers. Sure, let's call it. That's 12. Yeah, let's give them the FIFA game. That's 13. Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap. No clue. Xenoverse 2, which is multi-console. Rayman Legends, multi-console. Steep, multi-console. Seasons of Heaven, I don't even know what that is. And Dragon Quest 11, which I will believe when it actually occurs this year, because I do not think it will come out this year. So you're looking at 12 exclusive titles for the system, which would be fine if they were staggered over a month to 2 months between each release, but that's not the way it is at all. It's basically quarterly groups of them. You'll get 4 of them at launch. You'll get another 6 of them at spring. You'll get another 4 of them in the summer, and then another 3 or 4 holiday season. It just does not seem like it's enough for me. It seems like it's not enough to sustain someone on that platform.
Now, the question is, I don't know what the demographic for a Nintendo console is. I mean, the Wii kind of destroyed all boundaries when it came out. Did nothing when it came out. So what is the user base for this console? Is it the people that haven't bought something since a Wii and have no other game system in their house that are finally going to go out and buy a Switch because it's got a new Legend of Zelda on it, and they want to play their Legend of Zeldas? Is it the gamers who remember Nintendo fondly, such as ourselves, and are going to go, it's got a Legend of Zelda game. There's going to be games on this that are only going to be on this. They're not going to be a ton of them, but I need this system to play those. And is that the primary target audience? The message of the system is very, the online presence thing, they still haven't figured out, unless when it launches, all of a sudden it becomes crystal clear and it's really easy and amazing, which it doesn't seem like it's going to be.
I could went so many ways with the response to that, but my short answer is I do not think that is going to be the case.
No, I don't either, but I leave the possibility open.
Yeah,
it's to the point where I almost might just buy Breath of the Wild for the Wii U, even though I won't get the DLC. That's a game that we'll be getting, but that's not me buying a game. That's my son getting it for his birthday. So, because he's the biggest Zelda head of us all. Right. So that one will be in the house. But, I don't feel the burning need to buy a Switch just to play Zelda. Because really, Zelda and Fire Emblem, those are really the only 2 games in that list that would be drivers in this house to get that system.
See, and I'd buy it for the Mario, personally, if the Mario is good. But
right.
There's nothing I saw there that leads me to believe otherwise. It looks like it is going to be a Mario 64 type game, which is one of my favorite Mario games of all time. So I could care less whether or not we're enslaving creatures under that hat. I'm totally fine with it. I mean, we ditch Yoshi in pits all the time anyways, so who really friggin' cares? This is a non-issue. That's all I'm going to say about that. I can't wait for PETA to start protesting Mario's hat. Then I will...
But what this lineup does more than anything to me, more than anything in the world, this lineup means to me is Nintendo should drop out of the console business, work handhelds and software.
I am right there 1,000% with you. Because when everything is said and done, when you end the year, you are really only having 4 titles. All this other filler and stuff, ARMS, come on, really? ARMS? It's a concept game. I don't... It's not them taking risks, it's them building a game based off of the movement controls on the game. And I think that you can... I don't want to say trick. I think you can take the world by surprise like that one time only. And this is not going to be that success again. And it seems to me that they're chasing that success, and that's not what it's going to be. I really thought going into that hour press conference that you and I watched together that this was Nintendo growing up and realizing that their gaming base has grown up and that they are actually out of touch with the kids of today. And they need to figure out a strategy to address them and their parents. And I thought this was going to be them catering to young urban professional millennials. Hey, we're cool. Look how we understand your life. You're always on the go. So should your console. Should be always on the go with you. And that's so not what we got at all. We got Nintendo's for fun, family-friendly games. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I get that. And that's a good demographic. Like, I think that is a underserved population. But with 4 games, Zelda, Mario, Splatoon, and Fire Emblem, with those 4 being the only real Nintendo pieces of software that are a draw in a year's period of time, you are doing something horribly wrong. Horribly, horribly wrong to underserve the people who are going to invest in hardware with you. Now not hardware, but a brand new ecosystem. Because I'm telling you, I will eat my shoe if you're able to use your old virtual console games on this new system. I do not think they're going to do that.
Don't see it happening.
Why would they do that when they can get you to pay for it again and make more money in the process? It makes no sense to me. In fact, let's just get to that piece of news right now. I just got to find it. Nintendo. Polygon's reporting today that Nintendo drops a big hit towards GameCube games on Virtual Console. So, while they haven't detailed any plans for the Switch, in a recent interview, they said that they were working along something along the lines of bringing GameCube games to the Switch. We cannot really answer with precision because we have now not announced anything about it at this time, Koizumi said. What I can tell you is we're working on things that go in that direction. I mean, that's basically confirmation that they're working on it. I don't get it. This whole launch is the worst debacle for Nintendo, and I tell you, they're all going on. Business is fine. Everything's great. We're gonna sell. I mean, they didn't give consumers enough information early enough. This system should have been delayed until holiday of this year, so that they could have had firmer explanations for everything. This online scenario, like you said, maybe it'll be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but this looks like a complete kerfuffle to me, waiting to happen. Let's tie everything through mobile device apps so that we don't have to design anything. Dave thinks that I hate the Switch. He thinks that I want him to hate the Switch. And that is not true. I want the Switch to succeed more than anything else because I think Nintendo has a good software library eventually on their consoles, and their products are ultimately worthwhile. If I hadn't have been moving, Matt, I would have kept that Wii U because I enjoyed the library of games I had on it. I appreciate you buying it, but my point is that
I don't.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. But I would have kept it. Is my point. I thought it was an anemic release of software for it, but what was there over time was pretty good. I think that they are doing this from a business standpoint the most backwards, bullheaded way that they can do because they're Nintendo. And I agree wholeheartedly with you that they should simply stop creating consoles and start figuring out a better way to do a licensing deal with the big players in the market so that they maximize the amount of money that they get. For example, make Sony pay for the next Mario game, but then they get to retain the majority stakeholder share of every copy sold.
So yeah, the Sony Marvel relationship for Spider-Man.
Exactly. So there's precedence. They could do it. But this just seems like really haphazard.
You know what the one thing they could have been working on for launch rather than GameCube Virtual Console that probably would have sold them infinitely more systems? Pokemon
Metroid?
Snap 2.
Oh, Pokemon.
Metroid.
Dude.
But the Pokemon Snap 2.
It's like, this is
how
the
easy.
stuff.
Not even hard. It's like
this is the stuff I don't understand.
Do.
They have games that people love, that people absolutely go ape over, like Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
Do they make another Metroid? They make something
Totally
on 3DS that is that the developers have to come out and justify because everybody's sending them hate mail because they make this weird thing instead of a proper Metroid. If every programmer in Nintendo is programming for Zelda, then you're doing it very wrong. And they have said that everyone in the company is tasked on making Zelda the best it can be. And yes, they have other teams, but this is basically, they said all of their developers are working on Zelda. That just tells me that they're out of their depth in design, in execution, etc. And why are they continuing to reinvent the wheel rather than bring in some experts from other development houses to help them? To not to make the game, but just bring in a Naughty Dog or someone like that, a director who can show them how to produce these open world games and help them stick to their timetables. I don't know. You need to say something because I'm going to keep going for like years on this if you don't.
No, did you listen to last week's Game Informer podcast?
I did not.
So their cover story this month, which I haven't gotten my copy yet, is
I got mine
is going to be Breath of the Wild. And as they were talking about it, I actually got more worried about Zelda, even though everything they were saying was positive. Because it sounds like everything that people have been saying about Final Fantasy 15, which granted I love, but it is a confusing cacophony of systems. I mean, you can tell that this game was developed over a gajillion years because they started going this way, and then they went this way, and then they went this way, and then they went this way. It works for me well enough, and I understand it doesn't bother me, but I can see it. And basically, in the description of Breath of the Wild, they literally said the exact same thing, is that there's this just giant cacophony of multiple systems that are there, and maybe they all work together. Maybe they don't. In the small samples they were allowed to see from Nintendo, it worked, but is it going to work overall? I don't know. So I'm a little leery about this Zelda. I think it may suffer from too many cooks in the pot, but we'll see.
To that note on Final Fantasy 15, I love Final Fantasy 15. There are things in that game that I hate more than just about any other game I've ever played. Like, for example, that stupid car. You would think that I know you're going to say, it's not that bad. Yeah, I think it freaking sucks. It is a game. It is a like when Conan said to the devs, you are wasting people's time. That car is exactly that. It is artificially inflating the amount of time that I play the game. And yes, you can fast travel, but I spend more time fast traveling back to the car so I can fast travel somewhere else, to the point that it is ridiculous. I think it is the worst system that they have ever introduced into any Final Fantasy game. And I get the I get what they're trying to go for, but it could have been realized in such more of a non-obtrusive way.
At a minimum, the road layout could have been better.
Way better. Way better. It's I love the game. I'm really enjoying it. I've heard a lot of people complain about the combat. I'm so far in now, and the combat still doesn't bother me. I'm not going to say it's the best combat system ever. It's not. There are times that I get frustrated, and I swear to God, I still need to do that parody video. I just don't have anybody to do it with.
X button does everything was
Yes.
not a good choice.
No, it's not. And when I sit there jumping in front of people I'm trying to talk to,
mashing the X button until the guy talks to me.
yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely flaws and there's definitely issues, but overall the game to me overcomes it. I'm not as bothered by the car as much as you are. Why that is, I don't know. I'm still finding things in the car. I'll still get randomly prompto pop up and want to take a picture of something, so I complete another side quest. The combat only falls apart to me in some of the higher level dungeons where you're in such a small area against such high level monsters that your advantage of mobility is completely negated. That's the only part in time where the combat really falls apart. Some of those high level dungeons where you walk into a room and you're locked in this small room where you have no mobility with just tons of higher level monsters. I mean, yeah, it's still hard to TKO. I mean, it's very, very hard to TKO in that game. But
I agree with that.
You just burn through so many resources and it just takes so long because the main advantage you have as Noctis is your mobility. And when you restrict that, he kind of is a wuss.
Well, most of the time when I'm in a clutch, that's when I start using the team up attacks because you're invincible during them.
Right.
That's
well, and then you've always got Ignis's instant health regen.
right.
But
yeah, I think that Nintendo is I just think that they when the majority of their shareholders don't know what a video game is or why they should keep making them, that tells me many, many things. First of which is they do a horrible job of educating their shareholders at what they're bringing to the table. Secondly, it also tells me that they're not doing a good job of communicating the value of how they make their money to their shareholders. But number three, it tells me that maybe their business team isn't that business oriented. I don't know. I think it's a great call. I don't think it will happen, Matt. I think they will ride this they will ride every hardware release to the ground until people just stop buying them. Because the
problem is with the licenses that they have, that's never going to completely stop.
Right. And then it's going to become a personal choice of, do you stop supporting their bad habits with your dollars, or do you continue to encourage them down the wrong path? We will get like here in the office, we'll get a Switch eventually, whenever they go back on sale again. Whoever thought it was a good idea to start pre-orders in the middle of the day for Nintendo should be shot, because that guaranteed that I would not get one. Anyone here would get one. So yeah, it's woof. But anyways, so other than that, the state of consoles is great. I mean,
well, and even that's an anomaly right now, right? It's almost a footnote, right? I mean, this is the system that you're going to play Mario Kart, Mario, Zelda, and maybe a Metroid or a Animal Crossing or something on if it eventually comes out. I don't see this in this day and age at that price point being anybody's, or being very, very, very few people's primary gaming system. It's going to be the system that they play those Nintendo games on that they can't get anywhere else.
See, and that's what boggles my mind, because until they start learning to build a platform that is not just about games, but also about the user experience, they're never going to compete with Sony and Microsoft. I use my PlayStation 4 for everything. For watching HBO, for watching YouTube, for streaming, for playing video games, for watching movies. Nintendo is quietly, over time, carving themselves out as a niche to play the 1 or 3 Nintendo games you want to play, and that's it. And that's not how they're going to continue to make a profit for their shareholders.
Not at the price point they put the system at. If the box was
you're talking $500 plus all in, and even though they like to say they're not competing with Sony and Microsoft at that price point, yes, they freaking are. 100% they are.
And to Dave's point, I get it. Yes. All right. They're going to go drive to some beach somewhere. So apparently he's comfortable with riding, and he's going to sit there and he's going to play his Legend of Zelda in the passenger seat of his car. Maybe that'll work, but
for 2 hours.
For 2 hours, right? Maybe the beach is only 2 hours away and there's some place you can charge it while he's there. I don't know. But I don't that he has for him, it works. I mean, I really sincerely hope it does. I don't think it's going to, but I hope somehow it ends up working for his use case.
Oh no, I mean, I see the use case for me. I could play it 45 minutes a day on my commute into the office. I could totally do that. That would be a perfect use case scenario for me.
Right.
But at that price point, I'm not sure I'm happy with the way they have engineered the system that I want to invest in that ecosystem.
Right.
And I could be wrong. It may get glowing rave reviews and everybody loves it and it's the stepchild for tomorrow. You know, everybody's darling. Great. I get that. And that's what I want to see happen. So I don't want people to think I have a negative outlook on it. I have a negative outlook on it from a business perspective. I want it to succeed. I want it to prove me and everybody else wrong. But it seems like the business models that they are adopting or that they have historically and traditionally adopted for distribution, which is that of false shortages to drive up demand to help their marketing budget. That combined with the fact that it's already a niche console with niche titles instead of a broad-based console that does multiple things that contains multiple AAA titles, I think already puts it behind the gun. And the fact that they held information back for so long, details back for so long that people need to make solid buying decisions well in advance, because $500 is not, the average checking account in America, I just read a study on this, has less than $500 in it. So for somebody to have a extra $500 lying around is not something that generally materializes overnight. This is the I know we went round and round about this, Matt, for like the longest time. I think it was you and I, where you were saying people don't need that long of a lead up time. I think they do, because no one budgets well in America.
Well, it assumes some level of intelligence. Yes. My main argument was, a system's coming. You don't know what price it is, but it's going to be more than you can just shell out of your spare change. So you start saving anyway as soon as the thing's coming. That gives you another 6 months of savings. Now, if you're not that good at budgeting or planning or thinking ahead, you wait till the final price hits. You're a bit behind.
Yeah, and probably the worst business model for me is their paid service for online.
We still got to see that in motion, because everything they've said about it makes zero sense.
$30 a year, and you get to rent a 30-year-old game for a month. That is
your phone to chat online.
If I could be the fly in the wall when they were making those discussions, that would be like a book right there in and of itself. how to make the stupidest incentive possible to get somebody to sign up to your online recurring payment service.
But you know, in and amongst all of this, you know, the thing that makes me worry about this system the most, the one thing they did that makes me the most concerned about how this is all going to go down. 1-2 switch. When they started showing that, and we both went, oh, okay, this is a pack-in. This is going to be that demo disc that you get that shows off what all the little gimmicks of this thing are. Okay, I can see that. That works with the price point and everything. Okay, that makes sense. Separate $60 game. What? That decision in and of itself makes me more worried than any of the rest of this stuff about how this system's life is going to go. It just, yeah, it's like you said, I don't know what school of business these folks that are making these decisions went to, but I think they needed a couple more courses.
See, I think for me, the moment of the entire press conference, it was kind of like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy that's not political. When you've gotten to the point that you're just so shell-shocked that you're like, what is going on? And then you come out of it and you have that lucid moment. It was when they were talking about feeling the multiple ice cubes rumble in the controller. And I looked around and I'm like, what are they doing? What are they talking about? This isn't real. This isn't really reality. Why do I flipping care?
And
You've given me no reason to care about any of this stuff.
The crazy thing is that guy was so sincere. I don't know who he is. He's one of the new guard, right?
Yeah.
And he was so sincere, and he was the like one guy that was like legitimately emoting and
yeah, no, he was charismatic and
charismatic and,
good
put together,
good
and
presenter,
he
yeah.
switched to all of his topics. But yeah, I agree. That whole presentation was just, even for Japan, was bizarre.
And someone needs to teach that guy how to lean on a couch. I'm sorry. That's it. That's my last comment.
Draw me like your French women.
Yeah. So, let's see what other news we've got here. Kotaku. Oh yeah, Microsoft just announced that Xbox's E3 briefing will air Sunday, June 11th at 2 p.m. Not on the Monday morning like it normally is. And then in related news, somewhere, there we go.
Scorpio?
Microsoft announced. Oh wait, did I just say that? I did. Yay! 2 stories same time. Somebody else has their press conference on that Sunday. I want to say it's Activision, maybe, or EA, one of the two of those.
Okay, haven't seen that. You skipped saying that they were going to give the details on the Scorpion, though.
Yes, sorry, yes.
Scorpio.
I have it right here. Yes, they are going to talk about Scorpio. It will be interesting because it seems like this year it is open to the public. I did not bring that story because it was last week's story, but I should talk about it now. If you would like to go, it's $250 to get in, which is a steal from the $1,500 for press passes.
Yeah.
I will say, if you're going to go, expect long lines. Don't expect to get into any other press conferences. And why are you going to E3? That'd be about my 2 cents on the issue.
If you live in and it's a $250 ticket and you got the money to spend, yeah, sure, whatever.
And you want to stand in lines for 10 hours.
Yeah, you want to stand in line and smell
for a
stinky bodies.
15-minute or less demo. Then, just to say you went to E3, I guess. I mean, literally, this is the second year in a row that I have lived here, that we as a company have been here, and it does not make financial sense, even with me living here, to go there.
You get it's kind of like going to a football game. You don't go to a football game, an NFL game, to watch the game. You go for the experience of being in a stadium and in the crowd and all that stuff, because you got way better view of the game from your couch or your chair in your living room.
And so that's why we're going to broadcast our thoughts and opinions live during E3 to you, the viewer, right here on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. And
nice little segue there.
Yeah, thank you. Speaking of segues,
you ride one to work today?
Let It Die 2, or Let It Die, the crazy game that we keep talking about from Grasshopper Manufacturer and Suda51. Is it Suda51? It is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That has passed 2 million downloads.
Wow. Impressive.
Which is not bad. And they're giving away free current in-game currency to celebrate.
I should log in. Not that I'll ever play again, but...
I am looking at... I'm looking for the actual press release, because this one that I cited takes what they're saying out of context. There was a write-up basically that Gabe Newell is worth over $4 billion now as the founder of Valve Software. He's number 134 on the Forbes 400 list between oil and gas tycoons.
Thank you, Steam.
But yes, there was a quote that was taken out of context that basically said, we're also pretty comfortable with the idea that VR will turn out to be a complete failure. What he said was, and this was reported by Polygon, which is where the original was before it was taken out of context like that. He said that VR is actually going great, and that I'm looking for that specific section. Here we go. He said that he believes in VR as a sustainable business right now, and one that will grow at a steady, if unspectacular, pace for the foreseeable future. He's basically was saying that, you know, unlike the last times that VR have launched in the 80s, it's going well, it's going consistent with our expectations, but we're also pretty comfortable with the idea that it will turn out to be a complete failure. Because he's like, if you don't try things that don't fail, you probably aren't going to do anything interesting. And so but people have taken that completely out of context. That never happens, right?
No, never. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So, anyways, check out the article if you want some intriguing stuff from one of the richest guys in video gaming. It's over on Polygon right now.
Cool.
HTC will launch mobile VR devices as their follow-up to the Vive. It's not going to be a phone slapped to a headset. They haven't said a whole lot about it. It will be compatible with HTC's new flagship phone, the U Ultra, but it won't be a simple headset like Samsung's Gear VR, as video plays in our stream. Yay. They're trying to figure out basically how they can bring the Vive with all of its motion tracking and room sensing into a mobile setting. So that's kind of interesting. The other interesting thing was that their financials came in, and they reported an operating loss of $3.6 billion, which is about 116 million in American dollars. Even though they're the best-selling VR unit and the most expensive one next to Sony.
Wow. I guess I wouldn't have expected that. Was that just the VR sector, or was that across the company?
No, that's their overall. That's the phones and everything operating
because
loss.
they
So,
had some issues with the last couple of versions of the
oh
phone.
yeah,
So
they've had issues with that stuff for years. Resident Evil 7 has already recouped its development costs, which is good news
nice.
because Capcom has not been doing fantastically.
They really seem to have struck a gold mine, or they struck a nerve. I don't even know what Resident Evil 7 seems to have just been the right thing at the right time all around for
Yeah.
gamers, for fans, for the company. It just somehow that's one of those perfect storm things, and who would have thought?
They did also address Dead Rising 4's very underwhelming sales numbers and acknowledge that it was not doing so well. They said they're going to try and combat that by really releasing more DLC.
It sounds like the core game is broke, from what I've heard. Or it's not broken, but it's not Dead Rising.
Right.
They've stripped out everything that made the first two games
to make
fun.
it more accessible, and in doing so, lost the core of the franchise. Yep.
Right.
Activision is teasing a Crash Bandicoot announcement, which is most likely the date for the release of the
Warped
Insane trilogy.
Or Insane trilogy, not Warped trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another temptation there.
That will definitely be bought at my house because my wife will love that.
And it's completely new. That's something I didn't get when they announced it before. It's not just reskinned or up-resed or whatever. They redid the game from the
ground. They redid the game from the
ground up.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Swamp Thing, Black Canary,
Blue Beetle.
My brain has stopped working.
Blue Beetle.
Batman, Villainous, Whip, Catwoman. Oh my God. I think I might have just had a stroke. I think I had a stroke right there.
I was thinking way too hard there. It's like, oh, okay, this is a lot easier than I was thinking.
Catwoman and Tigra and Poison Ivy all confirmed for Injustice 2.
And Blue Beetle.
And Blue Beetle we already knew about. He was one of the initial ones.
Yeah, they did a gameplay trailer of him though.
Yep. So that's pretty sweet. I'm looking more and more. And Swamp Thing, man, talk about. He's mainstream, but he's still a pretty obscure character. I'm super glad that they put him in the game.
The only weirder thing would be if they put Man-Thing in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
That would be interesting. But yeah, that's pretty cool. What else?
Do you see the Pokemon Go news, right?
They released more characters, but I don't know what the other thing was.
They will be this week sometime. They will be releasing 80 characters from the Johto, which is the Gold and Silver or the second series. They are also bringing new outfits, berries, evolution items and evolution items. 2 new berries. There'll be the Nanab berry, which slows down a Pokemon's movements, and the Pinap berry, which doubles the amount of candy received on the next catch if the next attempt is successful. New hats, pants, jackets, shirts, other items for your trainer. It also includes not only just the regular new Pokemon from the Gold and Silver, but also the new evolutions from the original. So whereas before Zubat was the highest you could go, or Golbat was the highest you could go, now you can go from Zubat to Crobat instead of Golbat, and Slowpoke can go to Slowking, and Onix can go to Steelix. So it's got the new evolutions in it as well. That's going to come out sometime this week. It's a little too soon for me. I mean, we're having an unusually warm February, but still not really warm enough for me to be walking around with my phone out going looking for. The one thing I was surprised it didn't say was announced were new Pokeballs. I would have thought they would have brought out some of the more expanded type of Pokeballs as well. But that wasn't included in the announcement. So is it enough? Will people be back out searching for their Pokemons, or is it too late and everyone that's...
We've never stopped.
No, I mean, some people haven't. I mean, my wife hasn't stopped. One of my kids still plays. I play a little bit, but
We had a Lickitung appear in our house the other day.
yeah. Well, that was part of the Valentine's event, the pink Pokemon appearance rate like quintupled or something. So yeah, that's over now. That today, yeah, the 15th. I think that ended today. Or is it tomorrow it ends? I don't remember. But sometime this week we'll have Johto Pokemon. So everybody that's been itching for a new Pokemon to go out and catch, they'll have something to do. But will it happen? I mean, I understand the need to get it out, but there's still a lot of, at least North America, that's kind of blinking cold out, and so something where you got to go outside and go look for things is not quite that time of year yet.
I'll be doing it and thinking about you, Matt.
Yeah, knock yourself out. But yeah.
Speaking of knocking out, Sony is knocking out PlayStation Now support for PS3, Vita, and other hardware devices.
That they are. This seems to be it's a business smart move. I don't know if it's a customer support smart move or not.
I don't think it's a business smart move at all. You want your streaming platform on as many devices as humanly possible.
But if you're looking to add new items and expand features, and you're going to have to ways for development or 2 ways for development, a significant portion of your user base are on one of those 2 platforms versus the other 4, it can make sense to cut those other 4 platforms and get into the 2 core ones that you can maintain the baseline and they're similar enough. We're talking PC and PS4, which have similar architectures, that you're making your ease of development better, you can support it better, and you can get more features to the field faster without leaving someone else out as a second-class citizen. Does it suck for the people who use their Vita primarily as a streaming device? Yeah, it sucks for them. Is anybody legitimately actually using their TV to stream PS Now? Maybe. I have to imagine it's not very many people, but maybe. PS3 support cutting is weird, but I'm guessing they're probably running up against resource constraint issues. Just running out of memory, running out of ability to make the PS3 do what they need it to do to keep in pace with the PS4 and PC version of the application. Yeah, it sucks if those are the systems you're using.
Yeah, just seems like I think it's. I get it. Yeah, I get what you're saying. From a business standpoint, it does make sense. I just think it's super anti-consumer friendly is the best way to say it.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, it's not necessarily customer friendly.
Do you have any other news items?
Non-gaming news. Marvel announced a new Spider-Man book coming out this summer. Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. Art by Adam Kubert and written by Chuck Zdarsky, I think is how you pronounce the name. So it'll be a companion book to Dan Slott's Amazing Spider-Man, which he's still on. When I saw the news at first, I thought, oh my gosh, Slott's finally leaving Amazing Spider-Man. Nope, they're launching a new book. Okay. So there'll be companion books. So that was completely unexpected. I was not expecting a new Spider-Man book, even though I probably should have, considering the movie's launching this year. Let's see. There was a bunch of stuff that I came across today, but I think we hit most of it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot else. That's going to bring us then to the part of the show where we say thank you to our patrons. If you subscribe at the $5 or higher level, every week we thank them for doing so. So thank you to Regina, Naomi, John, to Justin, and to Naomi, Regina, John. Who am I forgetting? That's bad.
Oh, Ian, did you say
Ian.
And
I know why.
Naomi. Did you say
Yeah.
Naomi? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Ian was the last person. I was just trying to remember the last one.
Cool.
Thank you guys for your patronage. If, as always, if you would like to get your name on every single show that we do, you can do so at just the $1 a month level by heading over to patreon.com/gamersledge and donating there. You also get access to a couple of unique videos that we made just for patrons, including our top countdowns of the best things ever, which we should probably do a couple more of those at some point.
Yeah, probably should. Yeah.
And but yes, you can get all that over at patreon.com. Or if you'd like to support us, you can do so by heading over to gamersledge.com and clicking on the store button, where you can find all kinds of cool gamer geekery jewelry for both guys and girls, keychains, pendants, all that cool stuff. So that's over at gamersledge.com under the store button. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/gamersledge, twitch.com/gamersledge. YouTube is a really long address. It's gamersledge.com, all spelled out, but one word. And then, of course, we're on Tumblr, StumbleUpon, Reddit, all the things you would expect us to find with the social medias. We're there. We stream every night on Twitch, some nights on different content on different channels. So do check our schedule for that type of thing. And we appreciate you watching. That's going to bring us to final thoughts for the night. Matt, final thoughts.
Did you watch Legion?
I have not watched Legion yet because it is not on a service readily accessible to me. I am going to watch Legion.
Okay. So, yeah, that was something I didn't have in my list. Beginning of the show, amazing. End of the show, amazing. Middle of the show, holy slow-paced exposition. Batman. But overall, I still don't know which power set they're going with for him, which really doesn't kind of matter because he has an infinite power set. But yeah, wow, I mean, they really do their best to show everything going from his perspective of his perspective is he doesn't know what's real and what isn't real. So you as the viewer don't know what's real and what isn't real because you're seeing everything from his perspective. It's crazy sauce, and this show should have never, ever in a million years been made by following standard rules of TV shows, but somehow it's here, so let's enjoy it while it is.
I've heard episode 2 is good also, but I have not seen it.
I haven't watched it yet. That's tonight, isn't it? I think it came, it was last night or tonight, but yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I may go do that right after we're done here.
Mine is a recommendation for The Expanse. I burned through it. It is some of the best TV that I have seen in a long time. It is definitely some of the best sci-fi that we've seen in a long time, and it makes the rumor that Fox is, well, that's not a rumor. Fox said they're totally down with doing a Firefly reboot with the original cast members, or remake or continuation with the original cast members. I really want that to happen now. What's that?
That are still alive.
Right, that are still alive. Do we count Alan Tudyk? Spoilers. Spoilers.
Boy. Although, man, his role in What's Powerless is cringeworthy. Eesh.
Well, I heard they sucked all the heart and soul out of that. So, anyways,
it's interesting.
That's gonna bring us to the end of the show, where we give you, the viewer, a timeless piece of wisdom to carry you through your week until we're back on the air tomorrow with our next stream. So,
run fast, run hard.
Matt.
Yeah.
What's brown and sticky?
Oh, so many things. What is brown and sticky?
A stick. Please watch and thank our patrons for supporting us. Until next week, for Matt and myself, thanks for watching and game on.
Game on.